Good evening. On the World News tonight from Baba Gbagede Imo Television, first the headlines. Ariwa Group's leaders raises alarm, urges Tinubu to prevent bloodshed amid judicial decisions in northern states. Asuu laments mass resignations in public universities. NNPP backs court rulings, says Kano governor, not registered member. Akeredolu reacts to reports of commissioners forging his signature. Fagbemi leads prosecution as court sentences 4 Boko Haram financiers. And on sport, Super Eagles possesses talent capacity to succeed at AFCON, says Agahua. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. The news in details. The council expressed concerns about inconsistencies in the judicial decisions following the March 2023 governorship elections in Nigeria. These decisions, according to them, have caused confusion and uncertainty, exacerbating political opportunism and corruption. They added that targeting of states like Kano, Plateau, and Zamfara states suggests a deliberate attempt to cause regional crises, potentially leading to unrest and national conflicts. In further news, the group, in a statement entitled Controversial Inconsistencies and Contradictions in the Appeal Court Decisions in the Governorship Election Cases in Kano, Plateau, and Zamfara State, signed by the coordinator NCCC, Comrade Mohammed Energy, warned against deliberate attempt to cause regional crisis. This decision has created general confusion and uncertainty across the north, exacerbating the disquiet caused by political opportunism and corruption. The targeting of states such as Kano, Plateau, and Zamfara, where politically volatility is more accentuated and troublesome, suggests a deliberate attempt to cause widespread regional crisis. The emerging trends in Nigerian judiciary are pregnant with complications and unforeseen consequences. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu must act swiftly to prevent the drift towards anarchy and bloodshed. The Kano governorship election case, in particular, has attracted significant attention due to the contentious nature of the decisions made by the appeal court. This erosion of public trust can have severe consequences, including social unrest, political instability, and a breakdown of law and order. As the leader of Nigeria, Tinubu has a responsibility to address these emerging trends promptly. The Academic Staff Union of Universities on Tuesday raised the alarm that most departments and units in Nigeria's public universities were short-staffed due to the resignation of lecturers in search of greener pastures. The chairman of the University of Ibadan of Asuu, Professor Ayo Akinwole, who disclosed this in Ibadan, Oyo State, said Nigerian public universities were in very pitiable conditions with stress and frustration visible in the faces of poorly remunerated lecturers. The chairman said poor and delayed salaries, unpaid allowances, poor infrastructure, lack of respect for the academic community, and disseminating the whitening up are some of the factors responsible for the resignation of lecturers in the past few months. Akinwole suggested that establishing more universities would not solve the problem, but rather improve the capacity of existing universities to be able to admit more students. The new Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) General Assembly has finally dumped the Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, saying he is not a registered member of the party, as the Election Tribunal and Appeal Court ruled. Referring to letters addressed to the Inspector General of Police and Director General of the Directorate of the State Services (DSS), the NNPP at a media conference on Monday in Abuja, addressed by its national chairman, Dr. Agbo Major, expressed concern over the escalating issues in Kano State. Major lamented that the unrest, characterized by media interviews, protests, incitement, attacks on judiciary, malicious remarks, institutional disruptions, visits to embassies, and road blockades have reached an alarming level. Red-capped individuals, both young and vibrant, wielding various weapons, have taken to the streets, disturbing the peace, he said. He said that upon thorough investigation, the party discovered that the riots were allegedly coordinated by Rabi Musa Konkoso and led by non-Kanu indigents, namely Dikpo Johnson, Kawu Ali, and Ono, all of whom are expelled members of the party. The chairman said following a 3-day retreat after submitting letters to relevant security agencies and embassies, they have reached the following resolutions. Our party upholds the sanctity of Nigeria and is committed to ensuring the safety of lives and property as guaranteed by the Nigerian Constitution. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State in southwest Nigeria has dismissed allegations that some commissioners and state officials are forging his signature. Information report that Governor Akeredolu responded to allegations made by Senior Advocate of Nigeria, San Kayode Ajulo, who claimed that some government officials were forming the governor's signature on official documents. Ajulo alleged that the vacuum created by Akeredolu due to his illness allowed cabals to forge his signature to legitimize their actions. Responding to Ajulo's remark, Akeredolu, through his chief press secretary, Richard Olatunde, described the allegation as utterly preposterous and ludicrous, which challenging him to present concrete evidence. In his statement, he alleged that Ajulo was depending on falsified signatures that were being circulated on social media. He challenged Ajulo to provide the alleged forged document or disclose the beneficiary. The statement partly reads, "We are more than willing to investigate the matter and prosecute anyone found culpable, but we cannot ascertain and entertain baseless speculations and unfounded claims by the complainants." A federal high court sitting in Dawaki, Abuja, has convicted 4 Boko Haram financiers. They are Modu Aisami, Zana Zarama, Umar Mohammed, and Bunu Kame. The prosecution, led by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, secured their convictions after their separate arraignment before Justice Binta Inyako and Justice Emeka Nwete. The defendant pleaded guilty to the charges and begged the court for leniency. The defense counsel was led by Director, Criminal Justice in Legal Aid Council, LAC, F.A. Bakri. According to the charge filed by the Director of Public Prosecution for the Federation, M.B. Abubakar, Aisami provided funds for the terrorist group by buying food products from the group, having reasonable ground to believe that the proceeds will be used to commit a terrorist act, therefore committed an offense contrary to Section 13, bracket 1, bracket A, bracket 2 of the Terrorism Provision Amendment Act of 2013. In a ruling on Sunday, Justice Binta Inyako convicted the defendant having pleaded guilty to count 2 and 3 of the charges. She sentenced the convict to 20 years imprisonment for each of offenses, which would run concurrently. The judge also convicted Zarama and sentenced him to 10 years imprisonment for concealing the identity of a Boko Haram member, Modu Sulum. Justice Inyako added that the jail term should run from the day the convict had been in custody. In another trial, Justice Emeka Nwete convicted the duo of Umar Mohammed and Bunu Kame. Mohammed was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. A military officer, his wife, and one other person have been confirmed dead in an auto crash that occurred in Lagos State. It was gathered that the incident that claimed the lives of 3 persons happened at the Dantata bus stop along the Lagos-Badagry Expressway. According to eyewitness, the accident occurred at about 11:05 a.m. on Monday and involved 2 motorcycles as well as truck, which collided with the motorcycle said to be riding against the traffic. They said the motorcycles were allegedly driven against traffic before they were crushed by the truck driver while trying to evade payment of levies from transport unions. The Federal Road Safety Corps Public Education Officer, Superintendent Ruth Commander Olabisi Shonusi, in a statement released to journalists, confirmed the incident. According to him, the motorcycle and the truck involved in the unfortunate auto crash were without number plate, which could have given better information on the victims. Shonusi said the bodies of the military personnel and his wife were deposited at Ojo Cantonment Medical Rescue Center, while the remains of the bike man was taken to the Badagry General Hospital mortuary by the FRSC team. The sector commander, FRSC Lagos Command, Babatunde Fariloye, admonished motorists and other road users to shun every act that poses a danger to them and other road users, saying 98% of crashes are avoidable because they happen due to human error. He reiterated that driving against traffic is not just an offense against traffic rules, but also a suicidal act and a display of inhumanity from man to man. You are watching the world news from Baba Bagede Imo Television. The Imo State Police Command on Monday dislodged a hideout believed to be controlled by the Eastern Security Network, a subsidiary of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. Announcing the development in the statement on Monday, the command spokesperson Henry Okoye detailed that the raid was carried out after a confession made by a suspected ESN member earlier arrested by the state command over the death of DPO Ayazu Mbese. Reports shows that Okoye further disclosed that police neutralized the second-in-command to ESN commander Ebube Virus during the raid. Moving on from the southeast to southwest, a suspected serial burglar who identified himself as Sunday Joseph has been brutalized by agricultural residents of Olupiton area in Ore, the headquarters of Odibo local government area of Ondo State, after he was nabbed stealing. It was gathered that the suspect was caught in the early hours of Saturday, December 2nd, 2023, after he allegedly broke into some houses and stole phones and money. Some residents who spoke with the state-owned newspaper claimed the suspect had been coming to the area to break into people's houses and steal without being caught. Residents of the community alleged that the suspect was caught for the same crime about 2 years ago, but he escaped. It took the effort of some strong youth in the area who pinned the suspect down as he tried to escape, they said. Initially, the suspect said that he was not in the area to steal, but after he was given the beating of his life, he admitted to committing the crime. A resident of the area who identified himself as Kehinde Ajibade said that an occupant of a particular house who had been suspecting him caught him before he escaped. Moving on to the next story. A yet-to-be-identified motorcyclist has been reportedly killed after an unregistered truck hit and crushed him to death in Magboro, area of Lagos State Expressway on Monday. An eyewitness who spoke on condition of anonymity said that the commercial motorcyclist was hit by the truck while trying to come out from Freedom Estate Junction to link to the Magboro bus stop. The accident happened not quite long ago. The motorcyclist was coming from Freedom Estate Junction to link Magboro bus stop when he was hit by the truck that I think did not observe the motorcyclist. The truck also crushed his head, leading to his death immediately. The spokesperson for Ogun State Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Florence Okwe, confirmed the accident to correspondent on ground, stating that the cause was speeding and wrongful overtaking. I can confirm that the accident happened. All three persons involved were male, but one casualty was recorded. The accident involved a truck with no registration number and a motorbike with the plate number of DGB 487VS. One male died in the accident. Okwe appealed to road users to exercise caution and patience while using the road so that the issues like these can be avoided. Patience and caution are key to safety driving. Moving on to the next story. ISS, Boko Haram, and Asuu continue to pose serious challenges to Nigeria's national security during the year under review, according to the U.S. government. Nigeria faced persistent terrorism attack in 2022, the U.S. Department of State has said in its latest country report on terrorism 2022. The report highlights the relentless attacks conducted by ISIS West Africa, Boko Haram, and Asuu across the northern and central regional of Nigeria in 2022. The same group and Asuu continue attacks against Nigerian government and security forces and civilians across the northern and central region of Nigeria, resulting in death, injuries, abductions, and destruction of property, the CRT reports. For armed activity in Nigeria, the report reveals the use of a variety of tactics, including use of small arms, capturing military equipment, deploying improvised explosive devices, ambushes, and kidnappings. ISIS and Boko Haram conducted hundreds of attacks against Nigerian government and security forces, as well as civilians, according to the report. Nigeria is an active member of the Intergovernmental Action Government Against Money Laundering in West Africa, and its Financial Intelligence Unit is a part of the Egmont Group. The November GIABA follow-up report acknowledged Nigeria's substantial progress in addressing technical compliance deficiencies identified in the 2021 mutual evaluation. A U.S. law on annual country report on terrorism requires the U.S. Secretary of State to provide Congress by 30th April of each year with a report on terrorism regarding countries and groups. From that foreign story, we go to the sports story. Julius Agawa, a former Super Eagles striker, says the team possesses the necessary talent and capacity to succeed at the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations AFCON tournament in Cote d'Ivoire. Agawa said this in an interview on Tuesday while reacting to below-par performances of the Super Eagles and preparations for the 2024 AFCON. Information also reports that Nigeria Super Eagles will play the biennial AFCON starting from January 13 to February 11th and are in a Group A, which has the host Cote d'Ivoire and Guinea-Bissau as well as Equatorial Guinea. Nigeria is to play the first match against Equatorial Guinea on January 14, play host Cote d'Ivoire on January 18, and square up against Guinea-Bissau in the last match of the group game, January 22, 2024. Agawa, who scored 14 international goals for Nigeria, emphasized the importance of absolute commitment among players representing the Nigerian national team. While commending the talent within the Super Eagles squad, Agawa said that wearing the national jersey requires more than just a skill. He also said the players should demonstrate unwavering commitment and passion when playing for the country, Nigeria. With our sports story, we've come to the end of today's world news. Before we go, some headlines. Arewa Group leaders raises alarm, urges Tinubu to prevent bloodshed amid judicial decision in northern states. Asuu laments mass resignations in public varsities. NNPP backs court rulings, says Kano governor, not registered member. Akelelu reacts to reports of commissioners forging his signature. Fagbemi leads prosecution as court sentences 4 Boko Haram financiers. On sport, Super Eagles possess talent, capacity to succeed at AFCON, says Agawa. For update of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Babagbagede Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. Good evening.